All right, I'm gonna go over what I did here for selling a cash secured put on Lyft. I actually just recorded this live so you can see me actually make the trade, only to find out my microphone wasn't working. So I made a 12-minute silent video, which was no fun. So starting over, getting back to the program here. I've been watching Lyft for a while, and it is to a point where I think I'm okay with selling a cash secured put. So I have the Yahoo chart here. If you watch my videos, I kind of look at just a couple things here. I have the Bollinger Band, which includes the 20-day moving average. I add the 50-day moving average, and down here I have the RSI. And to add those in Yahoo, you click on this little button here that says indicators. You click on that, and then you look for those things and add them. I got a video that actually shows me setting that up. So if you're interested, find that video. So the reason why I'm looking at Lyft is because if you look at the lows here for the past couple of months, it's about 19 are the lows. If you look at what it's trading at today, it's almost trading at a low. So I'm thinking if it comes down here to 19 or so, it's going to bounce and go back up. So just by glancing at this Bollinger Band, and the RSI is at 42, which is getting kind of low, meaning it's starting to get toward the oversold part a little bit. Some people say, oh no, it's not oversold till it gets to 30. Well, if I hover here at the bottom, seems like when Lyft gets down around 40, it bounces back up a little bit. Now, I don't need to bounce all the way back up here to 22 or anything. I just need to bounce a little bit to make money, and that's all I kind of care about. So let's go ahead and go to Fidelity here. And I already typed in Lyft up here and did a search, and this pops up. If I scroll down a little bit, view the option chain. And to make this easier to see, this looks all confusing. First thing you do is just click on puts. I'm doing a cash secured put. If I was doing a cover call, I would click on calls. And the other thing you can do to clean things up, this might be showing weekly options, so you have all these different choices, but I like to stick with the monthly options for this. And people say, how do you determine your expiration dates? I like to go out like 3 weeks to 6 weeks, and it mainly depends on the monthly expirations. The monthly expiration in January is only 7 days away, so I really don't want that. If I go February 20th, which is the next monthly expiration, it's 42 days out. So that's kind of perfect for me. And I'll repeat this, just because I'm picking the 20th doesn't mean I'm going to hang on to this till the 20th. I'm going to hang on to it until I earn a pretty good chunk of my premium, and then I'm going to close the trade. Basically, I'm going to buy it back later. And when I say buy it back, that confuses people. People think, well, aren't you going to sell it later? No, I'm actually selling first and going to buy it later. I know it sounds backwards, but that's how it works for selling cash secured puts and when you sell cover calls. You sell first, you buy it later. So enough about that. Like I said, I already recorded this live, and I'll just go through what I did. So I came here and I decided I wanted the 17 strike price. And I did that because the delta is at 26. I've never sold cash secured puts on Lyft before. So for the first time, I want to kind of play it a little bit safer. And some people say you should make it even more safe by going 0.18. Now, if I was selling my very first option for the very first time and I picked Lyft, I would maybe go all the way down here to the 15 strike price. You'd make 32 cents a share. That's times 100 shares because these are sold in 100 share blocks for an option. So that would be $32. Now people would say, well, $32, that's chump change. Well, when you figure out the percent return on a $19 stock, it may come out to be better percent-wise than what you thought it was. And we'll look at that here in a few minutes. But what I did, I decided to go with the 1726 delta, which means there's about a 26% chance that the price of Lyft is going to be at $17 on February 20th. And like I just said, I don't hold these usually till expiration. I do sometimes, but typically I don't. So I clicked on sell at 80 cents per share. I did 2 contracts. I put 2 in there. And everything kind of populates after that. So sell to open, 2 contracts, a put, cash secured put, February 20th, 17 strike price. I did a limit order, and the limit price was 80. Actually, want to let people know I never do market. I always do limit. and then I pick the price. And remember, I'm selling something, and when you sell something, you want to sell high, right? So if I got a car for sale, $3,000, somebody comes along, they might offer me 2,700. Then sometimes we say, okay, let's meet in the middle, like 2,850 or whatever that is. Same thing here. So this is what confuses people. You selling, so sell high. I ended up getting that for 83 cents. The price has changed a little bit in the past half hour that I did this. Now, just because I'm asking 83 doesn't mean you're always going to get 83. You're probably going to get somewhere in the midpoint. Now, because I'm selling this, there's a buyer on the other side and they want to get a good deal, so they want to pay less. So it's just like negotiating for selling a car. But I'm going to try to get a little more than what the buyer's offering to pay, and this is constantly fluctuating. Now, you can't really negotiate much more than what the options are here or the choices. Don't want to use the word option and confuse anybody. But I ended up at 83. So everything looked good. I hit preview order. Can't do that because I already did it. But basically, all this information would pop up and where you can't change it. It's kind of like a read only. You confirm everything. You can hit back or hit submit order. And then if everything is good, it pops up and you just sold yourself a cash secured put. So let's assume I did that. Actually, let's not assume. Let's go ahead and continue because I did do that. So I came to my option tracking spreadsheet. It's a Google Sheet. You can download and modify it. When you download it, you make a copy of it and download it. And the copy you download is pretty blank except for it has some sample data. But getting back here, I went ahead and put it in here so I keep track of it. So sell, today's date, 1/9. The expiration date was February 20th. Lyft, it's a put. 17 was the strike price. I did 2 contracts. I sold it at 83 cents. $3,400 collateral. So I got to keep $3,400 free in my account to back up the deal in case it goes to $17 on the 20th of February because I got to buy it if it goes to 17. Like I said, I hardly ever keep these to expiration. If I screw up, I'll show you. This is the option ending event. I always buy those back. When I say always, I almost always do. Sometimes I roll them forward, and I won't talk about that. But most of the time, I buy them back. If it goes all the way to 0 to the end, this will go down to 0 here, and I will put assigned here or expired. Sometimes they expire worthless, meaning the price in this case would never get to 17. It stays at 19 forever, all the way to the 20th. And then if that happens, I keep the money, but I don't have to buy the stock. Well, let's say 2 weeks from now, and we'll just say around the 23rd of January, so 14 days. Let's say this goes down to 30 cents. I want the price of the option to go down. The price of the stock can stay the same, can go up a little bit, or it could go down. As long as it's above 17, I'm going to make money. Let's fix that so people don't freak out. So if it goes to 30 cents in the next 2 weeks, the way that would happen is if the price of Lyft would shoot back up a little bit. And when I say shoot back up, I mean if it came back up here to, let's say, $20, let's say, or $20.50. If that happens, then the price of the option is going to become more worthless, which is good for me because I want to buy it back cheaper, and then I make this profit. So people say, why not just let this go to expiration? Why not just let this go all the way down to 0? And if I do, I make $166. Well, the reason is, if I put this back to 0.3, you can see in 14 days, I will make a 3% return on my investment, but also 81% return based on an annual basis. So basically $8 a day. If I let this go to 0, but let's say let this go all the way to the 20th when it expires, you see I make $4 a day and I end up with a 42% annual return. I do make more on my investment, but that's based over like 45 days, not 14 days or 42 days here actually. So by closing it early, if it's to my advantage, once again, these are kind of guesses, but usually they're pretty close. So once again, in 2 weeks, if the price of the option goes down, I'll buy it back at a discount and I end up making 106 and not the 166. And that's a better deal. So why do I do that? Because I want to free up those $3,400 and then use that for a new investment somewhere else. So before I forget, I'm going to delete these numbers because I haven't closed that yet. So these ones up here I closed, and I actually closed a couple by accident today. These 3 here. Now, even though I closed them by accident, I still came out okay if I highlight these 3 here. When I highlight these, it shows the sum down here. So once again, if I highlight these, it shows the sum. So what happened was I was leaving today for some appointments, and the price of Tesla and SoFi was going up quite a bit, which makes the price of the option come down, which is good. Remember, I want to buy low. I want to buy the option low, not the stock low. I want to buy the option low. When I put in some limit orders, I meant to type in 0.35 here, and I accidentally pressed 0.55, and I hit enter, and then I came down here to the SoFi, and I did the same thing. And as soon as I did that, I think I meant to put 0.36 in this one, and I did this one too, because I sold these Tesla options at different times. One was on the 2nd, one was on the 6th, ended up with 5 total of Tesla. So I was buying those back, and I accidentally put in the wrong price. And as soon as I hit enter on the second one here, or the third one, I can't remember which one I did first, I realized, wait a minute, I realized I'm pressing 5 instead of 3. So was it the end of the world? No. If I highlight these 3 here, you can see $515. So that wraps it up. We sold 2 cash puts on Lyft. And if the price of Lyft goes up between now and the next couple of weeks, I'll close this trade early and lock in a profit of maybe $100. So if you like this type of thing, go ahead and subscribe. And one last thing, this is not financial advice. It's just me showing everybody what I do. And if you get something out of it, that's good. If not, well, I apologize.